And people thought that gushing over magical girls was just fan service only. Because, oh my goodness, this sequence is incredible. It literally forever changes gushing over magical girls going forward, because it added not just like plot with quotations, but actual plot. And it really dived into Sayo as a character, Utena as our main female character, and kind of what Utena's objective is, but has kind of always been displayed within the story, in our face this entire time, but finally it came to the forefront, and it was basically saying to the audience, or the readers if you read the manga version of this, that yeah, Utena really is head over heels gushing over magical girls, as in the title, and that if those magical girls fall off from that path, she no longer will love them. She will no longer care for them or gush over them. It's an incredible moment, because kind of like the comedy gag of Sayo getting into being basically tormented or dominated by Utena, actually became a part of the storyline. It actually went from a comedy gag to a very serious moment that drives Sayo's character. It's really nice to see the mixture of that, like the themes kind of playing together and kind of progressing the story going forward. So let's get into this. I really want to dive into this, because this is easily the most important moment of gushing over magical girls to date. Like, out of all the episodes, every single scene, if we're just talking strictly about story and character development and characterization, this is the most important scene thus far. And the reason for that is because Sayo is a magical girl. She is someone that is a paragon of justice. Hell, I'll let Utena explain it herself. Like, you'll literally see in the subtitles, while Sayo is wondering why Utena's looking at her with disgust, Sayo literally gets an actual harsh reality. Like, Utena's like, are you seriously about to let yourself go evil? She's like in a state of shock here. Like, you can literally see she's like, why? Why are you looking at me like this? Why are you upset? Isn't this what you wanted me to break and serve you? That's kind of what Sayo's mentality is, what she's thinking in this moment. But Utena starts to kind of, explain the details. Like, you are a part of Tresmagia. You are a paragon of justice. Every little girl in this world, they look up to you. You are an inspiration, a hero for people. And the beginning of this episode perfectly meshes with this sequence, because the beginning to the middle half of the episode, you see a bunch of girls and stuff going to this, magical girl convention to be able to pick up merchandise, outfits, etc. And it showcases the overall impact that Sayo and the others around her have had on their community, and how a lot of people look up to them. And so it's like, having someone's image tainted to such a degree, it's disrespectful for those that look up to her, because she is, once again, an inspiration. She is a hero for those. And seeing this pathetic display of just servitude to Utena is not something that Utena technically wants. And it's a really good sequence here. She's like, do you realize how many people look up to you? And I'll talk more about this, because it also relates to Utena as well. But she starts dishing out this harsh reality, and as this is going on and Sayo is facing this, Utena is just like, you're disgusting, you're despicable, she's like, you subverting expectations like this, I don't like this whatsoever, trying to join the evil side. And she basically just ends the fight. Like, she legit just doesn't even want to fight anymore. She just shoves her down, and she's like, I'm done, and just leaves. So let's get into this sequence. What's actually happening here, and why did Utena have such a negative reaction? Because when you think about the story thus far, like episode 1 to now where we're at for episode 7, you would think that Utena would kind of enjoy this. Like, if you're just looking at it for the plot, like, quotations like plot, fan service, you would think that Utena would be all for this. Like, she's getting her own magical girl that will basically be her servant, and she can have her darkest desires kind of, dived into. That's what you would assume. You would assume she would enjoy that, but that is not the case. The title of the series has been giving it away this entire time. Gushing over magical girls. Utena has standards. Her standards are just magical girls. And in this moment, Sayo acting like she was not a magical girl. She was not acting like what a magical girl would be and what Utena desires from magical girls. Sayo fell from grace and broke. And yes, to be fair, you get continuously dominated and done like what has happened to Sayo all these episodes, eventually your mind is probably going to break, and you're gonna fall into that darker desires and want it more. And yeah, there is definitely some hypocritical things going on with that with Utena. But the point of the matter is that we have a big thing that this episode tries to showcase. The viewer watching a magical girl from the outside, kind of like the people that watch, the magical girls and are inspired. They love the facade or the image of a magical girl, while you have the actual magical girls, for instance Sayo, that deep down in their core, they're just a regular human being, like a girl that has to deal with daily life of going to school, going to work, selling merchandise, whatever. They're a normal human being as well, but they have to don the magical girl attire to be able to save the day. But they are human that have their own issues, trials, and stuff that they have to go through to be able to make it day by day. And we clearly see that within this episode. The first half of the episode showcases Sayo's struggles of how she is kind of falling into depravity because she, is liking what Utena is doing to her. But obviously she knows this isn't good for her, and she wants to resist. While Utena is someone that is a fan of the magical girls, and she always wants to see the magical girls be their very pinnacle, their image of never falling, never giving up, always being a paragon of justice to defeat evil, and never breaking. They will always have the courage to pick themselves back up and be stronger for it. That is what Utena desires, because deep down in the very core of Utena, she is a fan, and you can kind of see where this is going. In the core of Sayo, she's a scared girl that just happened to become a magical girl. Utena is a very shy, meek girl that is also someone that is really in love with the concept of magical girls, and she gushes over them. And so you see her perspective as a fan was shattered when she saw Sayo act like this in the episode, while Sayo's perspective was shattered on what Utena really is, because she expected Utena to be this malicious, evil entity that would just completely take advantage of her if she finally broke. But that is not the case. What Utena wants is to play with the magical girls, get to know them, and make them seem a lot stronger. That's what she wants to do. She doesn't necessarily want to get rid of them, and I think that it really shows the distinction of these characters and just what her goal actually is. It is not to demolish these girls and ruin them completely. It is to straight up make them stronger and showcase despite whatever Utena does to them, they will get back up regardless. So yeah, it's an incredible sequence, honestly. I absolutely love this episode for this. This is a great moment, honestly. It is legitimately a mind-blowing moment, and now I could see why manga readers were really hyping up this episode. Like, I remember seeing a bunch of comments in my last video and previous videos for, gushing over magical girls, people saying, Chibi, you are not ready for what you're about to witness in the upcoming episodes. And it's like, really? And like, the manga community for this just kept hyping it up. And now seeing it for myself, I now see why. The manga readers of this series definitely were building up my expectations, and they delivered. Like, this definitely delivered, because I like that. I like how the actual quote-unquote plot actually mixed with the plot, and it matters a lot with the characters and all that. It's nice. It's nice to see a mesh of that. Now, people might not enjoy this sequence as much as I did, but it shows that the story of gushing over magical girls is pretty good. It's very well written, honestly. It is a very well written show, despite the lewdness of the series. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this. Legitimately incredible episode of gushing, and I definitely am a bigger fan of Utena now, and even Sayo, because I wonder where Sayo is going to go as a character, because she just got a harsh reality check that, what she kind of wanted or desired when she broke to be Utena's pretty much like her servant was destroyed in this moment. So what's going to happen? Is Utena not going to have any respect or just, I guess, view on Sayo anymore? She's just not even gonna look at her anymore, not even fight her? There's so many questions I have in the direction that this story can go, but legit amazing. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. May all of you have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Chibi out.